All right, Colts Nation. So here on this Black Monday, the Indianapolis Colts have officially made their first and probably only firing here. They have, according to Adam Schefter, the Indianapolis Colts have announced they've parted ways with defensive coordinator Gus Bradley. This comes to the surprise of absolutely nobody. Gus Bradley out as the Indianapolis Colts defensive coordinator. The last two seasons for the Colts have not been pretty for Gus Bradley, as his defense has been pretty near the bottom in just about every category over the last two seasons. And it was definitely a long time coming. And this will give Shane Steichen, the Indianapolis Colts head coach, his first crack at a defensive coordinator. And somehow, some way, Chris Ballard outlasts another coordinator. But on the positive side for Shane Steichen, he will finally get his pick at defensive coordinator. We're going to have some videos coming out kind of talking about some potential candidates here for the Indianapolis Colts for their defensive coordinator position, but some, stats against Gus Bradley this year. So the Indianapolis Colts ranked 24th in opponents' points per game. They ranked 29th in opponents' yards per game. 22nd in opponents' yards per play, 30th in opponents' third down conversions. They ranked 23rd in opponents' red zone scoring. And when it came to the rushing department, not much better. The Indianapolis Colts also ranked 24th in terms of opponents' rushing yards per game. And so the Colts defense pretty much at every single category was in the bottom half of the league. And this was a firing that was long overdue. Honestly, I'm surprised that Gus Bradley lasted this long. I mean, we've heard rumblings. Even today, we heard rumblings of what DeForest Buckner said about this defense and just the state of that side of the ball. It's very obvious that this Colts defense was an absolute wreck. Gus Bradley was a big part of that. Now, is he the full issue? No. We already know what the full issue is, but Gus Bradley, nonetheless, was the minimum that needed to happen here to at least make this Monday sort of salvageable, and it'll be interesting to see who the Colts do bring in, but Gus Bradley is officially gone as defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts after 3 seasons. This is what head coach Shane Steichen had to say. He said, "I'm appreciative of Gus and the commitment he made to the Colts. He's a man of great character, and I have the utmost respect for him. I felt like we needed to move in a different direction. I wish Gus and his family all the best moving forward." So in the 3 years, according to Kevin Bowen, shout out to him for this stat, in the 3 years under Gus Bradley, the Colts ranked respectively 29th, 28th, and 24th in points allowed per game. Like I said earlier, the Colts were one of the worst defenses in the league this last year. They were far and away the worst team in terms of missed tackles last year. I think they came into the game around 150, and goodness knows they probably had 10 more in that game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, we also saw what the Colts were able to do or not do when it came to affecting the quarterback. The Colts were 24th in sack percentage as well. They did not get off the field, like I said. And also you saw multiple times this year where the Colts allowed different running backs to do whatever they wanted against him. I mean, you saw what Joe Mixon did in the first game and Josh Jacobs did, in the Green Bay game. And they allowed those players to have career high games, right? They allowed them to just do whatever they wanted to start the season. And then obviously, the last couple weeks of the season, the Indianapolis Colts defense made these backup quarterbacks look like the second coming of Joe Montana. It was an absolute disaster. So, yes, there are a lot of issues for this Colts, starting with some personnel and some things up top, but also the defensive coordinator 100% deserved to go. Gus Bradley deserved to go. This was a move that needed to happen for the Indianapolis Colts. And, I mean, just look at all the quarterbacks over the last 3 years that aren't even with their respective teams that sliced and diced the Colts defense. It was an absolute disaster. Gus Bradley 100% needed to be gone. There are, like I said earlier, there are far bigger issues with this team than Gus Bradley. Was he an issue? Absolutely. But yes, this is a move that needed to happen for the Indianapolis Colts. Gus Bradley out. We'll see who Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen decide on as their next defensive coordinator. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you, like me, believe this was a firing that needed to happen? I kind of also believe that in certain ways, he is the scapegoat for the bigger issue that's going on. Do you believe that as well? Let me know all those things in the comments down below. But yeah, Gus Bradley out for the Indianapolis Colts, guys. Colts are going to be looking for a new defensive coordinator. So honestly, glad they did it today because I was afraid it was going to go into middle of the week. And then some of those coordinators would already, potentially be, having interviews, and maybe the Colts will be behind the 8 ball. So glad they finally officially decided to do it here on Black Monday. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Be sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, all that good stuff. But guys, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much. And as always, go Colts.